Today I'm going to show you how I increased my credit score by 50 points in just 1 month. So I like to track my credit score using Credit Karma, so let's check out my account. Okay, so here's what it looks like when you log into your Credit Karma account. It keeps track of your TransUnion score as well as your Equifax score. It used to be one of them updated weekly and the other daily, but it looks like they just changed it where both of them are going to update every day. You don't need to log in every single day to see what's happening with your credit score, but it's good to know anytime you open up your account, you're going to have the latest information. So as you can see, my TransUnion score of 753 and my Equifax score of 762. If you click on either one of them, it'll give you the history. So you can see here on May 14th, my score was 712. And then when it updated a week later, it was 762. So that's an increase of 50 points. If we switch over to TransUnion, it's a little bit lower. So it's 707 up to 753, which is 46 points, so almost 50 points. But with either of these, the nice things you can do is if you click on see what changed. April 10th, no score change, but you can see 2 of my balances decreased. Scrolling down further, there were 2 weeks with no changes whatsoever. And then on March 21st, there were 7 changes, which caused my credit score to go up by 50 points. So you can click on see changes. And as you can see here, 2 of my cards got credit limit increases, $1,000 and $1,700. These 3 cards saw the balances go down, and these 2 cards, the balance actually increased. Scrolling down just a little bit further, so no change. There were 3 changes here, so some balances went down, no score change, no changes. February 28th, it looks like there were 2 changes. So there was a credit limit increase and a balance increase of $63. So it's a little bit hard to understand what changed just by looking at the list right here. So as I always do, I put everything into a Google Sheet and I'll show you really what happened and why my credit score increased so much. Okay, so here's a summary of the before and after of each of my cards and the total in terms of the balance, available credit, and the utilization. So the biggest change that happened, and where I think most of the 50 additional points came from, was the Apple Card. So I've done a couple videos on my Apple Card. So I essentially bought a new MacBook Pro, but it cost $2,500. I had $4,500 of available credit, meaning over 50% utilization on one card, which isn't good, and brought my score down. Getting this back in order meant that my score increased quite a bit. I have a whole video about how I increased the credit limit. So my available credit went from $4,500 to $5,500. And then when you purchase something at the Apple Store, you can have 12 to 24 payments of no interest. So there's around a $200 payment each month. And on top of that, I made an additional payment because I wanted to get the utilization below 30%. But by adding up this $558 in payment meant that the balance went from $2,100 to $1,600, and the available credit went up by $1,000. So here's really where my utilization improved so much. So my utilization for the Apple Card went from 47% to 29%, decreasing by almost 19%. As you see for all of my other cards, there were just kind of minor changes. So Capital One went down by $300, the utilization changed just barely. SoFi actually spent $600 more on this card. The utilization went up from 19 to 26%, so 6.7% increase. That didn't really have an effect. The Wells Fargo card, available credit was increased. The Citi card, the credit limit went up. And as you look at everything overall, there really wasn't a big change. So there was $221 less on my cards. The available credit went up quite a bit, so by $4,700. But if you look at the utilization overall, it went from 13.3% to 11.9%, so just down by 1.3%. Not a big deal. But really, you can see that I was being penalized quite dramatically by having one credit card that was near 50% utilization. Going from 50% to under 30%, that's where the 50-point increase in my credit score came from. Wouldn't you like to be able to just automate your finances, to set it and forget it, to know your financial goals are being set and you have to spend very little time thinking about money? Well, we have a free course that'll walk you through step-by-step how to do just that. If you're interested in signing up, check out the link in the description below. There are 4 ways to improve your credit card utilization. The first way is to pay down your cards. So the less you owe on your cards, the lower your utilization, the higher your score. The second way to improve your credit card utilization is to contact each one of the credit card companies and ask for a credit limit increase. So if you remember from math class, you have the numerator and the denominator. So if you lower your balance, that is the numerator, so that you want to be smaller. And then the denominator is the total available credit. So the bigger that is, that also improves your utilization percent. The third way to improve your utilization is to apply for another credit card. So if you get a new credit card, that means you have additional available credit, meaning the bottom number, the denominator, goes up and your utilization goes down, improving your score. You may see a small decline over a couple of months because there was a hard pull on your credit report. So when you apply for a credit card, the credit card company wants to check your credit report. That hard pull can bring your score down, but that only lasts a couple of months. And later on, you have more available credit, lower utilization. You have another on-time payment that you're making every month. Overall, you'll see your utilization improve and your credit score go up because of the new card. The fourth way to improve your utilization isn't by changing any of the overall metrics, but how you split up your spending on your different cards. So let's imagine you have 5 different credit cards. Each one has a $1,000 credit limit and you spend $1,000 per month. So if you put all of your spending on one card, you would have one card with 100% utilization, the other 4 cards with 0% utilization, your overall utilization of 20%. You wouldn't be doing all that well in that situation. Your overall utilization is good, but you'll be penalized for the one card with 100% utilization, as you saw with my example of being penalized for having just 50% utilization on one of my cards. The better way to spend the $1,000 would be $200 on each of the cards. Each card would have 20% utilization, and overall you would be using 20% of your available credit. If you want to learn more about how to improve your credit score, check out the video up above. If you want to see some of my favorite credit cards, check out the video below. Hope to see you in those and future videos. Bye-bye.